if elected president, what is the very first thing you will focus on?
I'd like to lay a predicate first. I am running for president, and I never wanted to be one, actually. But if I get elected, then no. I was just joking with the lady. Ayoko talaga. I do not covet, I've said repeatedly. There was never in any forum that I said I'm running. Sabihin ko na lang ngayon, total, nandito na lang ng lahat. Ayaw ng pamilya ko. Pati yung anak ko nung naging mayor. And she is very vocal about it. And I don't know about my first wife. I have not talked to her. But my second wife, she does not also want me into the loop. The third and fourth, may dalawa pa ako. But if I want to be president, you should know that I have this vice versa. Pero ito, I keep this sort of mysticism, but hindi ito gastos ng gobyerno. I mean, they do not, I do not house them in condominiums, high-rise, or villages naman. Boarding house lang ito sila. I wasn't able to. Okay, ulit nga. Kalimutan ko.
Mayor, mukhang nadidistract kayo. Medyo maganda ho yung una nagtanong. Pero ang question po niya is, what is the first thing that you will do if you're elected?
I would suggest to the next president, the first thing that I'll do is 25,000 below, no more income tax. They can go home with their money. Second, as I will increase the salaries of our soldiers and policemen. Kulang yan, we cannot control corruption. Alam mo, diretso na lang natin. Mabuti pa. Let me tell you a story. I am not interested. I posted that declaration 2 years ago in the official website of Davao City government. Sinabi ko doon, I do not covet the position. It does not appeal to me. I have no need for it, and I don't want it. My stand today stays. Pero kung ako ang nandyan, I will not waste my 6 years to add to the 6 years of the past presidents. I hate to stay there for 6 years with an inutil term. Tapos sabihin ko lang niya after 6 years, ladies and gentlemen, my beloved countrymen, I did my best. But just the same, like the others, my hands are tied. We have to honor the Constitution, this Congress, and everybody, things like that. Because in that Constitution, may nakita silang wellspring eh. And that is the appropriation. For as long as the President has to ask money from Congress, specifically from the lower house, wala ka talagang magawa. Every time that you do it, they would say, we will impeach you. What I tell you, I will not sit there for an uneventful term. Either I make something new of our country or I resign immediately.
Yes, please state your name and your organization. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Mayor.
Hi,
I'm
ma'am.
Peter from Oxford Business Group, and I'd like to ask, how do you replicate the model of Davao to a bigger scale?
I cannot do it under the present circumstances, structure. Wala, masasabit ka talaga. Kaya kung gusto ko, sabihin ko na sa inyo, let us all reform, including me. If I were to do it, I'll just say that we will study 6 months to 1 year. If I could not get even the slightest reform, hihiritan ko talaga kayo. I'll declare a revolutionary government. If Cory did it, why can't I? Then I can start with the cleansing. It has to start with me, the military, and the police. And I will use the money to increase the salaries of all teachers in the Philippines. Nanay ko kasi maestra. Walang maestra na yun umuwi ng public school teacher na 18,000. they are eternally tied to the 5-6. Of course, the military. Sabihin ko sa kanila, lalo na yung mga polis, sige, I'll increase your salaries. Huwag ka nang hingi-hingit lang. Barilin kita. Prangka-prangkaan na lang tayo, huwag na tayong pakurnihan dito. Ang driver ko na polis, 3 anak niyang babae. Every enrollment time maghiram siya. So sabihin ko siya, what is your take-home pay? Sabi niya, sir, 1,500 na lang. Gamitan mo lang ng 1+1. Alam mo talaga na magkukurap yan. But you have to increase the salaries. I'll give you 50,000 pa 70,000. Marami akong pera eh. Alam mo bakit? Sarado yung Congress. But I will not dismiss the employees. Tumawa pa rin sila.
Mayor, we have one more question.
Yes.
State your name.
Yes, Ms. Marisa Dalmar, Buhay OFW TV, and of course, Director of VACC, Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption. Mayor, what is your take dito po sa BBL, sa Bangsamoro?
Kaming taga Mindanao, we are for it. Because it might really spell the difference between existing and dying. I mean, war. Murad at one time said that if there is no BBL for him, he'd go to war. 2 months after, the president himself, in reaction to a question, sabi niya, if you do not give to Murad the BBL law, you might as well start to count body bags. Then, 2 weeks after, Deles, Siging, came out with the statement, 14 issues ago sa Inquirer, there will be a bloody confrontation if there is no BBL. I think there will be a bloody confrontation. And that is why, if you allow me, I'll explain why I was going around advancing federalism. Pag wala kasing BBL, which, tanong ko, if there is one, it would be watered down heavily. So that would not be acceptable to them. So there would still be trouble. Itong federalism was a brainchild of Kanoy, Senator Pimentel, the father, and Lito Osmeña, the governor of Cebu. Sila yung mga early exponents niyan. Pumunta sila sa akin, sabi nila, Rod, ikaw may yung pinakabata dito sa atin. Sabi niya, 50 ka lang siguro eh. Sabi ko, yes sir. 50 years old. Sabi niya, you carry the torch of federalism. Alam mo kung bakit ko tinanggap yan. Before Congress actually studied on it, when it was submitted to them, sa mga members, nabasa ko na yung draft. At nakita ko na yung problema. Way ahead. Given the bigotry of some people, the utter bias against our Muslim brothers. And of course, the intricacies plus the constitutional provisions there. I said, this will have a hard time to pass to Congress. Kaya kinuha ko na kaagad yung baraha. So I was going around every city. I could not go to Congress because sila ang matatamaan ng federalism. You just have to do away with the unitary type. You go federal, they will lose their jobs, power and money. So I went around cities promoting federalism sa local officials. Yun ang ano ko. At may nakita itong iba dito, ayan, sa harap ko, yung iba nandoon. Sinakyan na lang na for president. Sinabi ko, ayaw ko.
So, Mayor, marami pa po. There's one over here.
I'm Cynthia Carrion from the Philippine Olympic Committee and former Undersecretary for the Department of Tourism and Philippine Sports Commission. And I just wanted to know that all of us here, all I know, are clamoring for you to be the president to announce. But I would like to have the job of convincing your wives to please allow me to be president. Most Filipinos have that. So don't worry about the one vice that you have. So we want you to be president. Please, sir.
Alam mo na, sa totoo lang, if I may just, you will allow me, hindi ko na talaga panahon. And I would just cite the Bible, Ecclesiastes 3. There is a time for everything. To be great and to be small. Time for plenty and a time for want. A time for sorrow and a time for joy. live time to die. Ako, yung opportunity to be president is a window that's very, very small. Sabihin ko na lang sa inyo, hindi ko na talaga panahon. It's no longer my time. Give it to somebody else na yung may gusto. Mahirap yung nandiyan ka na ayaw mo. Magtamad-tamaran ka. When I was mayor early on, I worked until midnight just going around the city killing mosquitoes that were bothering the and rats all over.
Yes, sir, please.
I'm Sebastian Castro. I'm not here representing a company, I'm just representing myself. A lot of economists believe that one of the most efficient ways to tackle poverty, to really have more structural change, is land reform. When it comes down to it, the agriculture sector still is the biggest sector of our economy. At least it employs the most people, right? You have tens of millions of people who are poor farmers who do not own the land they work on. And that's been the way it has been for so long, which is just a mirror of the overall picture that we still live in a country where the power and money and wealth is still in the hands of a very select few. So my main question is, will you do anything about land reform, meaningful land reform?
I will try to figure out if it's still needed an extension. It has expired, the law on land reform. If ever I would reinstate it, I would not go for a thing just like giving them 2 hectares. Because most of the lands given to the beneficiaries, would you believe it? About 85% of those given to the farmers, tenants, are back in the hands of the landlords. The land reform was really a faulty one. Unless you supply the farm implements, give them the fertilizers, the seedlings, and even assure them of the market. Because a competition of importation would really kill them. Even at great prices na lang, even at that, just figure out how much you can buy from them to be sure that the produce are sold, becoming of the Asian economic. I don't know how much tariff now. It's a very, very low 3. Maybe the time will come, it will be 0. It's a free trade actually for all. But that kind of a system is only good for the highly industrialized countries. Now remember that the Philippines is an agricultural country. Economy natin based on agriculture. We'll have to do some protective measures. Not even safety nets. You have to just say to them, guys, you'd kill my countrymen. And I can only accept so much. Kung mag-i-import ka, tapos mas murang-mura, patay yung Pilipino. We can talk of something else, about the China problem. But then again, this is not really to, with the Americans, with due respect. That problem in the South. Let me rumble on because very important for you. Ano yung China Sea? We cannot fight the Chinese. America will not die for us. I am very sure of that. As a matter of fact, they're already talking somewhere about closer ties. But the posturings in the South China Sea is something which has irritated the Chinese. Kasi yung mga maneuver military, and they would ask, to whom are you directing your maneuvers? To Vietnam? Which is just in front of us in the West. Obviously, it's against the Americans. But the Americans they have a broken spirit right now. The class hatred, the color, has emerged again, rear its ugly head. And this is something which cannot be done publicly doon sa kanila. But we know that the problems of America are multiple. 2 of them prominently is there's a class, a race hatred now. It's growing. The Confederates of the South are really adamant about the freedom of what? To talk, to fly the flag. And America is deathly afraid of terrorism. The last thing that really would do is to go into a quarrel. And even in the Europe, it's losing its grip. About the Ukraine, nothing except criticism. Now Greece is being paneled by EU. withholding aid, and Merkel of Germany seems to be standing hard. And the problem ganito, with the coming of Russia, who offered to give them gas, fuel, and the 10 trillion of the Chinese, and he would just say, I'll buy your debt, then you can grow and I'll give you the space of maybe 10 years to pay us. There's a growing hegemony in Europe and in Africa in favor of the Chinese and Russians. That's how it is. That's how I see it. Itong Greece na to, pag talagang sipa nila, pupunta yan China. And China would say, good. How much? 32 billion? I'll pay it. I'll give you 15 years to repay. So that is how dangerous the world is today. Russia is bristling with weapons. And they have, I feel that they have reached the parity in arms. Kaya takot ng Amerika eh. Alam mo kasi, if the Americans really wanted the influence in Southeast Asia, they could have destroyed right at the beginning the airport and the islands now that are being built around. Noon pa sana inupapan, takot talaga ang Amerika. But that's to assure the Filipino spirit and the rest of the ASEAN, they go into maneuvering business.
Good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Patrick. I'm a student from De La Salle University and I'm also interning at the U.S. ASEAN Business Council. I'm tired of the atrophy in our government. And my question is, how will you inspire public servants on a national level to bring the best kind of service or top quality service to our Filipino people and bring back trust in our government?
You know, earlier on sa pagka-mayor ko, in my inaugural speech, the first sentence is, I hold it an article of faith that no progress and development in this city will come if we have done not law and order. Sabi ko, we have to have peace to enable the money from the pockets of the investors to come in. Pag wala talang patayan tayo, you kidnap the bank manager, sabi ko, patay. Kaya the best antidote kasi dyan is really to create an environment where the human being with so much talent can function. There has to be law and order to inspire people to even to join politics. Marami kasing Filipino talented, but they disdain public service because of corruption.
There's another one here. Yes, sir, please.
Pepe Galvez, private citizen. Mayor, I believe you have a sincere and caring heart, because otherwise you would not have been able to do the kind of change and improvement you did in Davao. In fact, I believe that your sincere and caring heart goes beyond the love, wishes, and the whims of your spouse and your other women or whatever. So what is it really that would trigger you to run and be willing to serve our country and our people?
You mentioned about my women. Ikaw, ilang iyo? Okay, kung isa lang, kawawa ka naman. Ay, kawawa ka kung gano'n. I pity you. I cannot survive with one. Pag inaway mo yan, tablag ka na yung araw na yan. Alam mo talaga, ako it's too cavalier fashion ako kasi hindi ako interesado eh. That's why I can really mouth whatever I want to say. You know, kagaya noon sa sabi nila, pinapatay ko, tapos human rights. Sabi ko, so be it. If you have the goods on me, file the case. But I have a job to do and I will do it, whatever it is.
Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Good afternoon. I am Jay Season from Sampeda before your time.
Yes, sir.
This is a problem that I know you are concerned because up to now, your city has not received its rightful share of the IRA, which is provided under the Constitution to be given to local governments automatically. Now, will it take you to be president to be able to give all the local governments autonomy in the sense that they receive their 40% share of all internal revenue taxes elected by government.
That's the reason why we should go to federalism. Because the unitary type of government was created by the Spaniards in 1521 for 400 years. When the Americans came, because we were given this country was just like a chattel, we were passed on to the Americans, they maintained the unitary type until today. You know, if you look down to Australia, it's parliament, federal. If you go still down to the south, there's New Zealand, it's federal parliament. You go up to Singapore, it's federal parliament. You look at Malaysia, it's federal parliament. You go to Japan, Diet, it's a parliament. And you go to South Korea, bigger parliament. I said if a shift to federal would greatly improve things, because then you do not need to wait for us to receive. In federal, you retain the proceeds of your resources. Then you contribute to the national federal government. Ito ang Pilipinas eh. Let's limit ito. President, ito. Mayor, the powers are. It's not inclusive. The residual powers not found in that document's autonomy law goes back to the DILG. In a federal system, the president, the prime minister, yan, kung wala dyan, bababa yan doon sa automatically devolved down to the local governments. Yan ang maganda. It's about time. We're the only ones who are hanging on to. It's really for control. Just the reason why you want to build a railway and everything. You have to go to NEDA. Ang NEDA, sino pong taga NEDA dito? Dukdukin yung ulo nyo. Tagal ninyong mag-process. You sit on the paper. You know, in Davao, you have 72 hours. Baski anong klaseng opisina, you want a clearance, you want a certificate or what? 72 hours. After 72 hours, you cannot release the papers anymore. You have to forward it to me. Why, with the explanation, why it took you more than 72 hours, 4 days to process the paper.
Thank you. We need an enforcer president, which translates to Mr. Duterte. Thank you.
Okay.
Hindi kasi ninyo alam, he's my relative, that's why he talks that way. Always there is.
Okay, we have one there, sir.
Hi, Mayor. I'm Francis Romero from Jonestown, South Philippines. My question is, sir, aside from the nationwide government privileges and benefits granted to developers and investors like the BOI, the PESA, have Davao City, during your leadership, implemented special benefits or laws or ordinances that is aimed to further attract developers to develop in Davao or investors to invest in the city?
Ang isang problema lang is the NPA. If you are into agricultural venture, agricultural farming, you have to deal sometimes with the NPAs. And that is a reality which we cannot really deny everywhere. But the NPAs are very strong, or maybe the strongest sa Region 11. What I do there is I talk to them. I am a son of a poor man. Though my father became governor 1957-67, kinakausap ko lang. Yung taxation nila, hindi mo madala sa takot eh. Hindi talaga kaya. I mean, they are there everywhere. So I talk to them and to stop or to at least mitigate the travails of taxation. Pagkabago kasi sinasabi ko lang, Andre, pagbigyan mo ng panahon. Do not tax them to death at this early. Malulugi yan. Most of them bananas. Hindi banana industry. Kakao. Pero kung dito sa teritoryo ko, sa Davao City, I can guarantee you there will be no violence, even if you do not pay. Sinasabi ko, huwag ninyong patayin yung tao just for money. Prangka-prangka mo rin ako doon sa intake. But I know the lingo, the talkatives, because galing ako sa baba. It was a long and winding road of sacrifice, so that I really know ang problema sa baba. That's why I can talk to them. Pero yung mga business ventures, you let me know in advance so that I can talk to the NPAs. And maybe sabihin ko, give them a moratorium. Wala ka ng resibo dyan, ikaw pang apurado. But I take care of business sa Davao. And I must know. Ang rule talaga sa Davao, let me know kung ano ang problema mo. Kaya if I see yung mga kidnapper dyan, tapos sabihin ng pulis, sir, may nag-iikot-ikot dyan. Yung pa naman yung nag-kidnap sa Bulacan. Are you sure? Very sure. Didikidnapin mo. Tabla-tabla lang. Tapos sabihin ng pulis, sir, nandito na sa amin. Sabi mo, hinga mo na pera. Maraming pera yan kasi marami kinila. Sir, wala raw. Di ko patayin mo. Maraming istorya. Diba, si Dilima. Maya marinig ang Dilima yan. Wala na Duterte. It is only in this country you take an oath to tell the truth. Sa Congress, I was summoned to testify against Bangayan because of the rice smuggling. So I was, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. At one time, sabi ni Enrile, can you identify Bangayan? Yes, it's the one. Tapos tanong si Senator Enrile, Mayor Duterte, what will you do if you find Bangayan smuggling rice? Sabi ko, I will gladly kill him. Maya-maya, itong si Jinggoy, sabi, ano, sabi mo, ano? Sabi ko, I'll give you an answer which you want to hear. Pag uwi ko doon sa hotel, nakahiga ako because I flew in overnight kasi magtitest pa ako sa umaga. Yung crawler ng, hindi pala, nakaganon ako, sir. May ba ako pala ako. Kalagay doon, Duterte to be sued for threatening. Bakit mo ako i-threaten? Masina. You tell the truth. Yes. Anong gusto mo? Gusto kong patayin yan. Ay, bakit mo ako ngayon kukulong na...
Yes, please. My name is Terry Felix. I'm from HSBC, and my question is, Mayor, if let's say you get elected into the presidency and you're successful in all, as everyone in the room would seem to want, can you pick 5 people within the cabinet that you would want to remain in the same post for the next 6 years to continue their good work?
Ma'am, sa totoo niyan, sabihin ko na lang, mag-resign na ako bukas, inyo na yung gobyerno. Kailangan, I mean, at this age, I said, I have enough accolades in my life to make me happy. Kaya yung pinipikit ko yung mata ko, I think about the presidency, Mayor, halos pareho lang eh. Except that I govern a bit of the territory in Mindanao. Para sa akin, okay na ako. Mga anak ko, tapos na. Nanununtok na nga yung dagang Inday na yun. Inday Sara.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Mayor, I'm representing from the Business Mirror. No? It has been said that the country has that unfortunate fate not to elect their good president. No? And you happen to be one of the good ones. How do you propose to overcome the tendency to elect only famous people, like those in showbiz, no?
Ang ABCDE, itong D lower party, because of poverty and maybe the only luxury is really the shows, yung mga sine. And they identify themselves with the character that they see there. It's part of the psyche, the community psyche. Hindi mo talaga maano yan. Kasi kapag artista na, tatalon-talon na sila gano'n. It's because lack of education. We cannot hope to bring this country to the next century if we cannot educate. If you cannot educate your children. That is why I said, if I become president, I propose to stop infrastructure projects. Complete those that are being done, but no new. I will use the money for mitigation sa mga kapwa-tao natin. Education really is very important.
Yes, please. State your name.
Good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Josephine Reyes, Rio Broadcasting Corporation, DWIC, Home Radio. Sir, the recent schedule I have in Davao to visit our radio station there, I asked our staff, if you run for president, will they vote for you? They said no. because they don't want you to leave them. And then, if you do run for vice president, who will you run with? Or if you do consider presidency, who will be your vice president?
Babae talaga yan, ma'am. Actually, ganito yan eh. I think that what, pardon me if I'm too presumptuous about it, but I think that most of you came here just to listen and maybe to know whether I am in the hustings already for the president. Sabi ko sa iyo, wala talaga. I am sorry, but talagang wala sa, wala na sa, sabi ko nga, hindi ko na panahon. I never aspired for any national position, but he's still alive. After alunan, gusto ni Presidente Ramos, ako yung DILG. I said, sir, hindi ko type talaga yung national. Actually, I do not like Manila. Ano dito eh. Gulo, tapos traffic. Then, kay ERAP, sabi niya minsan, DILG or sabi niya, ikaw na lang yung Customs Commissioner ko na. Sos Mario Josep, sir. Bigay mo yan sa iba, hindi ko type yung Customs. Mamamatay ako dyan. Sigurado, papatay ako talaga dyan. Then, kay Ma'am Gloria, the last offer was Secretary of Defense. Nandiyan si Colonel Esperon, General Esperon. Gusto ni Presidente Arroyo nung I'll take over from Norberto Gonzales. Ayaw kasi ng mga military si Norberto. I don't know, but is he good man? And itong Pinoy, to the day that he took his out of office, there was really no secretary for local governments. And I said he will just hang on himself to the position. So at that time, Ochoa was calling me if I could DILG, sabi ko. Ayaw ko. Vice President, wala akong ganawa. Kung ako ang Vice President, I will cabal with some military men. Patayin ko na yung Presidente. Bakit pa ako maghintay na? 6 years in the waiting. Hindi mo naman sigurado kung ikaw ang susunod.
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor, I think you're not running for president. What do you think of Vice President Binay, Senator Grace Poe, and DILG Secretary Maron? I think they're all presidentiables, and sooner or later they'll be proclaiming their candidacies for the top position.
They're all good officials. They are in the national scene. Pwede silang lahat. And of course, Binay has may burden lang sa dyan sa, sabi niya, false accusations. Well, let us see. Po naman can survive the presidency by getting the best of the Filipinos, the best and the best and the brightest. All of them. Mar, ganun rin. Kaya nga, sabi ko, I cannot endorse any one of them because they're all my friends. I want them to smile to me when we meet in the future na walang sama ng loob sa'yo. If I retire, kung magbalik yung anak ko, if you'll consider running again for mayor, I will retire from public life. I'm done. Because alam mo, ganito yan eh. When I am spent politically and I grow old, with so much medical issues, to whom shall I go for refuge? To the people in Malacanang, and who would feed you and buy your medicines? It's your family. Yan ang takbuhan mo at the end of the day, pamilya talaga. Kaya everywhere I go, sabi talaga nila na ano. And you know, when I say that I'll be running, I will have a rebellion in my own backyard. So what am I supposed to do? Alam mo kasi, isa rin yan is, hindi pa ako, I have not tasted defeat in politics. I have, behind you, 8 elections. Mayor, congressman, mahirap naman na maghanap ka pa at this age. Maghanap ka pa ng disappointment. You know, I said, I will be old. But can I overcome the stress of defeat? Yeah, you want to retire comfortable mind and kung makatikim ka ng talo, mahirap yan. Sabihin lang ng tao na, ito, si ano, corrupt, itong ano, gano'n. At sabi niya, bakit mo akong gawin excuse? The butt of the matter nila, kanila yun. But do not make me an excuse just because they are not qualified by your standards. I am really very sorry, but I have to be very frank. I cannot go on with this false pretense na dapat tindig ako dato so that people will see me and maybe consider me as. I really do not need it. I'm sorry.
Ayaw ko talaga. Kasi sinabi na pag nilagay destiny is God. O ngayon kung nilagay ako ni God dyan, sabi ko unang iiyak, si God talaga. Sinabi ko sa iyo, God, give that destiny to others who need it, who badly needs it.
So we have time for one last question. You have the microphone. Go ahead. Please state your name, sir.
Hi, Marco Lepado from Jones Lang. Good afternoon, Mayor. You have continued to dispel rumors of your possible presidential bid. There's a saying that goes, the only way for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. If after the outcome of the 2016 election, and the elected president fails to succeed in uplifting our country, would you have any regrets in not pursuing the presidency?
No, I would not. I would just say, I'm very sorry. But I could not be excuse of... you just look at the national scene. They're all here. And you can have, your time to examine them, their competence. Huwag na lang ako. Kasi, madugo rin yan. Sinabi ko na sa inyo, hindi ako upo dyan. Nasabi ko, after 6 years, I did my best, but my best was not good enough. I would not waste 6 years. Kung ako maging presidente, after 6 years, there will be a new government and there will be at least the standard. Sipain mo talaga lang dyan. Ang delikado kasi sa akin, I might go extreme. If I cannot get the reforms 6 months to 1 year, I will declare a revolutionary. Tapos yun, all in government are casuals. You hold it, hang on there until you are advised to go. Tapusin na natin, I'll have the last piece. You know, I am Mayor Duterte. I am a Filipino. I love the Philippines because it is the land of my birth. It is the home of my people. Tapos na ako, ginawa ko na ang kahit kaungan ko sa dalawa. But there was a price for that. It does not peace and prosperity does not come easy. May bayad yan. At huwag mo na ninyo akong tanongin unless you want me to go to prison. And if you want, you get the evidence from sources, not from my mouth. That would be bad. I mean, ako, I'm no disciplinarian, pero huwag mong gawin yan sa sulat mo. Hindi kita ko malusutin ng tanong, especially criminals. Total, sabi ko na, leave the city. Because if you don't, maybe one day you'll just have to go. Might be a horizontal position for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the things that I have said. I hope you'd understand it. Ganon talaga ako. I ask for your forgiveness. Maraming salamat.
Please give Mayor a big round of applause.